ॐ सदाशिवसमारम्भाम् शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्ताम् वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। मङ्गलाचरणम्। तपोभिः क्षीणपापानां शान्तानां वीतरागिणां मुमुक्षूणामपेक्ष्योऽयम् आत्मबोधो विधीयते। Okay. From 20 or 30, Nishidhya Nikhilopadhin. निषिध्य निखिलोपाधीन्
निषिद्य निखिलोपाधि
नेति नेतीति वाक्यतः।
Agaji, go ahead.
नेति नेतीति वाक्यतः
विद्यादैक्यं महावाक्यैः
विद्यादैक्यं महावाक्यैः
जीवात्मपरमात्मनोः
जीवात्मपरमात्मनोः
आविद्यकं शरीरादि
आविद्यकं शरीरादि
दृश्यं बुद्बुदवत्क्षरम्
दृश्यं बुद्बुदवक्षरम्
एतद्विलक्षणं विद्यात्
एतद्विलक्षणं विद्यात्
अहं ब्रह्मेति निर्मलम्।
अहं ब्रह्मेति निर्मलम्
देहान्यत्वान्न मे जन्म जरा कार्श्यलयादयः।
देहान्यत्वान्न मे जन्म जरा कार्श्यलयादयः
शब्दादिविषयैः सङ्गः
शब्दादिविषयैः सङ्गः
निरिन्द्रियतया न च
निरिन्द्रियतया न च
अमनस्त्वान्न मे दुःखरागद्वेषभयादयः।
अमनस्त्वान्न मे दुःखरागद्वेषभयादयः
अप्राणो ह्यमनः शुभ्रः
अप्राणो ह्यमनः शुभ्रः
इत्यादि श्रुतिशासनात्।
इत्यादिश्रुतिशासनात्
निर्गुणो निष्क्रियो नित्यः
निर्गुणो निष्क्रियो नित्यः
निर्विकल्पो निरञ्जनः
निर्विकल्पो निरञ्जनः
निर्विकारो निराकारो
निर्विकारो निराकारो
नित्यमुक्तोऽस्मि निर्मलः।
नित्यमुक्तोऽस्मि निर्मलः।
Yeah. So we were looking at this sloka. Nirguno, niṣkriyaha, nityaha. we saw that the text is shifting from Shravanam and Mananam to Nididhyasanam. We saw that the statements were so far made by either the Shruti or by Acharya, and now it is a statement made by the student, Shishya, because of the word Asmi is coming. That is how our Tikakaras see it. Just because Asmi is there does not mean the Acharya is not saying it, but Tikakaras see it that way. It's a nice way to present this text. And sometimes our Acharyas write like that also. Even Upanishad is there like that. The mantra is in the Upanishad, the mantra has been said by the teacher, but suddenly it appears, it is obvious almost that it is said by the student. So like that we see many times. Nachiketa uvacha. Like that we don't see. Nachiketa uvacha. We don't see that. So we saw that in Kathopanishad. Happening in Mundaka also. So we saw that there are these two parts to the human being. One is the thinking part, the intellectual part, and the other is the feeling part, the emotional part. This is what we were looking at last time. And each part has to develop. And it feels like they develop independently. It feels like, to me at least. And one can help the other. One can help the other. But to only a certain extent, they can help each other. Okay, that's what we saw last time. So that emotional being, that emotional person has to be addressed. The griefs, the traumas of the emotional person has to be addressed. Once I heard Swamiji saying that person is nursing a grief, like that he said. And I didn't know what it meant, because it's a loaded statement. For me, it's loaded. And so, nursing a grief means, is that person addressing the grief, or is that person nourishing the grief? Nourishing means feeding the grief and keeping it alive, keeping the grief alive. The answer I found out later is nursing the grief. See, nurse means generally a nurse is supposed to heal our wounds, right? Heal our wounds. But in this case, nursing the grief does not mean healing the grief. It means just nourishing the grief, feeding the grief, and giving more oxygen to it and keeping it alive. That is what it means. And so, that we all are nursing griefs, our favorite things from the past. I lost my brother, I lost my sister, I lost my mother, I lost my father. This is all there. From there, it's all starting. And many other things can have children. Son, daughter, happened, this happened, that happened. Son passed away, daughter passed away. Big shock to the parent. Very big shock. And so you can't handle it. Not only can't handle it, people around us also will feed the thing, grief, and say, oh yeah, it's like that, and all they keep saying. So this is an unending process. So Shastram acknowledges this. Our Shastram acknowledges this. Because we are talking about something very big here. And so we can't simply wish these things away. No wishing away and all that. And so Mandukya says that Sakashayam Vijaniyat. Sakashayam Vijaniyat. Gaudapada says that in his Karika of the Mandukya Upanishad. Mandukya is a very cryptic Upanishad. It will just push us to the limit. Like that it is. And there he says, Sakashayam Vijaniyat. There he says, hey, this Kashaya is there inside. This emotional hankering and craving and need for belongingness, all this will be there. And it will not go away. And just by leading a life, it won't go away also. We have to address it properly. Like that he says. If a functional family is there, then the emotional hankering will slowly go away. Because functional family, that is the definition of a functional family, where each person is given their own spaces and each person, comes together and then walks away, comes together and walks away, like a harmonium. It's nice. It works very beautifully. Everybody is in sync. If nobody is in sync, sometimes the family is like that also. What to do? And so then we have to reach out to somebody else, something else, some other external source. Okay. And this is all well known to us, but I'm particularly saying it because we are reaching that. We have to talk about it. Because we also have that same feeling. I've listened to the Shastram so much, but nothing has happened. That feeling is there for all of us, we have that feeling. And so, no shortcut. Shastram also says no shortcut. Coming to Vedanta, everything will get solved. Certain things, like the emotional parts, we have to address. Shravanam also takes care of the emotion. Repeated Shravanam. Swamiji will say, repeated Shravanam is Nididhyasanam. Repeated Shravanam. And so repeated Shravanam we do, it will loosen us up. Let's see, loosen us. And the tightness that is there in me, slowly it becomes looser and looser, relaxes. Our emotional part relaxes. Once it relaxes, that last time I was talking about the unconscious. The unconscious that has been suppressed, that the Maya, Maya is helping that child at that point, that adult at that point. That Maya pushed the traumatic experience, pushed it behind. That behind is called unconscious. It is sitting in the unconscious, waiting to come out, and the Shravanam will relax us. Because there is nothing in Vedanta that says God is judging you or somebody is judging you. Nothing, no language is there here. You are free. That is the maximum it can say. Here and now. Jivan eva ihaiva tairjita sargaha. Bhagavad Gita. Ihaiva. Right now, you are free. Right now, you are a Mukta Purusha. Right now. Not only right now. Yesterday also I was. When I was born also I was a Mukta Purusha. In the previous Janma also I was a Mukta Purusha. Then what happened? Then why am I like this? That is what Advaita Vedanta is all about. Ajnana yogat paramatmanastava. This one. Adi Shankaracharya. Atmabodha. 20, what shloka number is that? No, that is Viveka Chudamani. I'm sorry, Viveka Chudamani. If you want Atmabodha, that also we have Avirodit, shloka number 3. Aviroditaya karma na vidyam vinivartayet. Vidya vidyan nihantyeva, etc. We have many shlokas. Because of that ajnanam, what is available to me is made non-available. I make that moksha unavailable to me. That is the thesis of Advaita Vedanta. And so, if that jnanam is the concrete block of this building, who I am, then the cement is that emotion, that emotional strength, the glue that makes these concrete blocks stick to each other and makes it into a solid whole. Finally, we want to be a solid whole. Okay. And so that the glue also has to be taken care of. So anyway, so psychology is very helpful. The subject of psychology is very helpful. And it can help us so much that it will be so empowering, not overpowering, empowering, right? repeated Shravanam helped me also. And I decided to go to a psychologist also one day because Swamiji kept talking about it. And so there's nothing wrong. It should not be wrong to see a psychologist. So I went and saw a psychologist. Not one session, not two sessions, 10 sessions I went. They go by sessions, every hour or half hour, whatever the thing is. And you got to pay. It's not free. So you got to pay cash. And but I wanted to find out what is this psychologist is. And then sure enough, they are sitting and listening. The guy I went to he's a Buddhist trained Caucasian. And so he understands Eastern culture very well. And a person who understands that culture only can understand some of the unique problems of these Indians. Indians have their own unique set of problems, which don't not need not exist in America. Need not. Can exist but need not. And so it was nice that I found that person, suggested by another psychologist who was a good friend of mine. And so that is how I ended up there. And I understood, really understood what Swamiji was saying. Then only I truly understood. So I understood that this mental blocks are all there. All these self-judgments, judging others, this, that, all these things are there. In one shot, they can just help us understand that, no, I'm making a mistake. No, or this is not your problem. You are being harsh on yourself. You are being harsh on your wife or husband or father or mother or son or daughter. No, they are fine. Like that, they will help us see all these things. Then and if you are ready to change yourself, then ready to change. That's the key, right? And then wonders can happen. So as I said, it can be empowering. And the empowerment can be even so much that you think that you got moksha. That's it. Means I'm free now. No. That freedom is not what moksha is talking about. That is not what moksha is. Because suddenly you are free of all these unnecessary self-imposed encumbrances. Okay. And so all that there is a place for all these things. And but because psychology is not an end in itself, they say that because it's like that, now what happens? This client, he's only a client, but he gets attached to the psychologist. It's like he now becomes independent on the psychologist because he likes that 1 hour. It's so good. It is never been so good. And he gets dependent. And so dependent, he starts projecting his problems on the psychologist also. No, you didn't tell me that last time. Last time you said this. Why are you saying it now? Hey, wait a minute. This is just a transaction. Don't jump on me like that. Jumping will happen. And so, all that, there's a value for all that. Value. And that is why, because psychology is not an end in itself, Swamiji used to say, psychology has no solution, Vedanta has no problem. Look at that. Psychology has no solution, Vedanta has no problem. Means what? Psychology is useful. Like any science, everything is useful. Everything is useful. Even mother-in-law, father-in-law is useful. Why it is useful? They think I'm great, My son-in-law is great, they say. So they are also useful. They give a pat on the back. Nobody has given me a pat on my back. I have to get married and then they give a pat. So they are also useful. A watch that is not working is also useful because twice a day it shows the right time. I'm talking about analog watch. These days, I don't know that they wear analog watch or not. But those days we had HMT, Seiko and all these things. So always useful. So psychology is also useful. But from a moksha perspective, psychology has no solution. Vedanta has no problem. Like that, a series of talks Swamiji had given long ago, which is coming to my mind. So, the ideal student of the Shastram would be that adhikari, that person who is emotionally grounded. ideal student. That is what is listed in this Viveka, Vairagya, Shamadamadi, Shatka Sampattihi and Mumukshutva. That Shamadamadi is equal to emotional maturity. Shama, mastery of the mind. Means what? If somebody is emotionally abusing me, I will immediately stop that. Forget this nonsense. But somebody else may not be able to stop it. Or if somebody is trying to do something else and it feels like an emotional drag, the person can recognize, oh, this is happening. I have to respond assertively to that situation. All these things the person recognizes. So emotionally grounded. Shama, Dama. Generally, we talk about all these foods and these things when we give this example. Dama. Constantly, I'm addicted to something. You have to say, stop it. Thus far and no more. Dama. Just do it. Just do it. Stop sleeping till 8 o'clock. Get up at 6:30. Go with your neighbor and go for a walk. Just do it. That's it. How long can you do this? Doctor also has been telling you all the time. All right. Just do it. Dama. Then Titiksha, Uparati. Titiksha. Constantly complaining. Weather is not good. Global warming. Yeah, do something. Recycle plastic. Reuse plastic. Better than that. Join all the people who are doing all these things. Study about it using Chat GPT and other things, and go to the local school and tell them, I want to tell children about these things. Yeah, use the energy that way. Titiksha, instead of complaining. Complaining doesn't solve anything, that better learn it. Complaining doesn't solve anything. I have to do something about it. I have to respond to it in a positive manner, useful manner. That is called titiksha. Then titiksha, uparati, anushtanam. Vedic people, we are all Vedic people. Vedic people lifestyle is a different lifestyle. Better accept it. Why? Yajna dana tapah karma natyajyam karyam eva tat. Bhagavad Gita. Somewhere I wrote it down. 18th chapter, 5th shloka, 18.5. If you want to write this down, look at what Krishna is saying. Yajna dana tapah karma. Yajna, danam and tapas. These three types of karma is talking about. Yajna is what? Hey, our whole life is full of yajna. A married person will have to do a lot of yajnas periodically. There is no and all that. They have to take the day off or something and do yajna. Some homas have to be done periodically for the self, for the family, and for the society, and for the ecology. Yajnas we have to do. Either do it together or join hands and do a yajna. Chandi Homa. They will do Chandi Homa. For the well-being of people. No rains. El Nino. We have to do yajna. Really speaking, this is true. People are doing. The other day somebody told me they're doing it periodically. Yajna, Danam. Danam. Only a human being can do Danam. No other being in this universe can do Danam. Danam. Because that is there. No. I cannot see another person suffering. Therefore, I have to act. I have to act on it. That's called Danam. Then tapas, self-discipline. Self-discipline. Okay, I'm doing so many things for everybody else. What about me? Yeah, there is something called tapas. That also is there in the Vaidika Dharma. Constantly. Ekadashi will come. You are supposed to, Upavasa has to be done. Upavasa. Upasamipe vasati iti upavasaha. Ishvara Samipe Vasati. Hey, you have to just shut down all these things. If you are not eating, then you will be awake. You will be alert, 100% alert. So we need that 100% alertness. For what? For munching something else. No. For sitting with Atmabodha and other things. And do some Parayanam. Sit in your puja room and do Parayanam. Yajna dana tapah karma pavanani manishinam. Hey, these are all manishinam pavanani, shuddhikaranani karmani. These are all purifiers. What purify? How do they purify? This emotional side of me, which is hankering all the time, it will slowly dissolve these problems, emotional problems. Pavanani. And therefore bring me closer to Shastram. And then take me from Karma Kanda to Jnana Kanda. Who will take me? I have to take myself. Uddared Atmanatmanam. And then Krishna gives the reason also. Pavanani manishinam. And then yajnadana tapah karma. No, sorry. Natyajyam karyameva tat, he says in the first line. Don't natyajyam karyameva tat. These must be done. He says must. Why? Because there is no language of psychology and all that. In the sense, you go visit a psychologist. That kind of culture is not there. You have to do these things. These are the things, these are the tools available to me. And it will slowly bring me to the realities. It will bring me to Bhagavad Gita. Bhagavad Gita has a lot of psychology. This is our Bhagavad. Krishna is our psychologist. Vishwaguru and psychologist also. I was having a discussion with ChatGPT some months back. Who is the father of psychology? Some William Hunt or something like that. Wunt or Hunt. William Wunt, I think. Then I said, wait a minute. 5,000 years ago, Krishna is talking so much. And we have so much in Upanishads. All our Acharya's texts, I'm struggling to understand this text. It's so complicated. And they're talking about psychology. And you're telling me William Wunt is the father of psychology? What do you mean by this statement? This is what I asked ChatGPT. How can you say you know so much about Vedanta? You've told me so much. I did some little, this like that. ChatGPT praises us, Oh, you're a great thing, good thinking and all it says. So I also told you are also a great guy. You are not an ordinary Advaita Vedanta. I think you must be enlightened. And this all I said. And then I said, you are telling me that William Wunt is the father of psychology? Then he responds. Then I said, wait a minute. Then he says, no, it's not like that. And father of psychology is a big subject. And so father of psychoanalysis, one particular. No, William Wunt is not the father of psychology. He's some practical psychology, some lab psychology. There is some term there. So he's the experimenter. He's done that. So he's the father of that. Okay, that is fine. But the books don't say all these things. They don't say what you're saying. The books will leave it like that. Their books don't say, thousands of years ago, Bhagavad Gita, Krishna talked about all these things. No book says all these things. You allow people to, you keep quiet, and then the people think, the average reader will think the psychology came from America. Just came, and we have to take every inch of it. Then he says, I know what you mean. I can understand your frustration. This is ChatGPT language. I've become like this now. I can understand your frustration. Hey, you better accept that there are too many issues out there. Just like human beings have issues, Indians also have issues. And all colonized societies have issues like this. Anyway, so, natyajyam karyam eva tat. That is why all these things are being said. Pavanani manishinam, people who are hooked to phalam, karma phalam, hooked. Shankaracharya says, manishinam means what? They are knowledgeable people. And only this yajna, dana and tapas will take us away from being hooked to karma phalam to saying karma phalam is there, but I am independent of karma and karma phalam. That is what Shankaracharya, that's what he writes there. So, tasmad omit yudahritya. Then he says in another place, tasmad omit yudahritya yajna dana tapah kriyaha. Again he uses the same phrase, Krishna. Yajna dana tapah kriyaha. He refers to the same phrase, yajna, dana, tapa. And pravartante vidhanoktaha satatam brahmavadina. Pravartante. That is why Vedic people, whatever they do, they say Om and then they do things, it seems. Like that, Krishna is saying, Om iti udahritya. Having whatever they are doing, they will start with Om, Omkaraha, uttering Omkaraha. Like that, he says. All the tapas, kriya, and yajna has to be done with starting with Om. Like that, he says. So, therefore, coming back to this, we are here only, nirguṇo, etc., same sloka. We're not gone anywhere. It's so important that we have to spend some time on this. And so here, Bhagavan Shankaracharya is wearing the shoes of the student, as it were, and the student who has been emotionally grounded and now has understood what the Acharya has said. And so these are the student's words, as it were, nirguṇah, niṣkriyo, nityaha, etc. And that Nididhyashanam also. Nididhyashanam is really a repetition of Shravanam. Repetition of Shravanam. Except it is done without the presence of the Acharya. Dhyanam. Dhyanam is done by oneself. There is nobody there. Dhyanam. But if I have to use Nididhyasanam as a way to neutralize the emotional problems I have, okay, then I have to assess myself and then do the things that will neutralize those barriers, those obstacles. Okay. Like if anger is my problem, then I have to tell myself, hey, Atma is not subject to anger at all. Why am I so angry? Why? Is there any reason? Nobody has done anything to me, but why am I angry? Like that, I should think that non-anger aspect of myself is the only one that is required to neutralize my anger. Okay. So, akrodaha, shantaha, dantaha. Hey, I am Shanta Swarupaha. Shantoham, Dantoham. Why? Why should I be angry? I don't have to be angry at all. Shantoham, Dantoham, Shantoham, Dantoham, Satchidananda Swarupoham, Shivoham, Shivoham, Shantoham, Dantoham. You keep saying it to yourself, and you know what will happen after a month? You will suddenly find that you are calmer than before. That is what will happen. That's what will happen. And so here Swamiji says, if being attached to people is what's stopping me, I realize I have a problem. I'm dependent. I feel emotionally dependent on so many people. Yeah, it feels like that because we were not taught these things before. And therefore, since we were not taught these things, we don't know that the purpose of the family is to grow into the family, to grow out of the family. How about that? Growing out, it must be the goal of growing in. Growing in can't be, I can't go into a chakra vyuha and sit there. Abhimanyu couldn't come out, but everybody else does come out of this chakra vyuha. That must be the goal, coming out. How can it be just getting stuck there? Only if I come out, I can be of help to others also. The guy who's inside can't help others, even though it appears he's just there, but he really can't help because he also he has the same problems. Everybody else has the same problem. How they can help each other? Emotionally, one cannot help the other person after a certain point. Not possible. So if I come out of this samsara, out means emotionally out, then I can be of assistance to others. Then only I can be a useful human being. Otherwise, I'm just churning the same thing. Arachamavan solluva. That in English, I don't know what they say. So grinding the same flour again and again and again and again doesn't help beyond a point. And so if sangatvam is a problem, I have to tell myself, asangoham, asangoham, asangoham punah punaha. There are statements like this. We will do that. We are going to do this Nididhyashana again as we study this. And so, like that, Swamiji is saying, if desire is the problem, means I'm constantly attracted to something or the other. Attracted means what? Something trivial things. Then akamaha, words like that are there in Upanishad. No, kama cannot touch me. Cannot touch me, really speaking. Why? Why I'm running behind all these things? Okay. So, aham tripto'smi, triptaha asmi. I am triptaha. Right now I am triptaha. Why? How can I succumb like this? Not possible. Something is not right. So I think about this. Triptoham, triptoham, triptoham. In Taittiriya Upanishad, Shrotriyasya chakamaha tasya.
Shrotriyasya chakamadasya.
Chakamaha tasya. Kamahata. He's a Shrotriya. And that fellow who has won over Kama, so to speak, Kama Hataha, his name is called Kama Hataha. Kama is gone. Then that fellow's Ananda is now have to, not this Ananda, 100 times more. We saw that. Te ye shatam. Te ye shatam.
Eshatam indriyasyanandaha.
Te ye shatam manushya gandharvana anandaha. Manushya is there, 100 times is Deva Gandharva, 100 times that is Manushya Gandharva, 100 times that is Indraha, 100 times that is Pitru. Pitru's Ananda is there. Then Ajana Janam Ananda, then Indra Ananda, then Indra's Guru Brahaspati Ananda. Like that it goes. And what is the difference between these people? Kama is the only difference between these people. You could look at that. Kamaha is such an important thing in our life.
Paramatanda says 1 plus followed by 20 zeros.
You can do the calculation, that particular Taittiriya Upanishad. Then finally Brahma is put, because you can keep on going like this, and Upanishad puts a full stop. Enough. I think you got the point. Shrotriyasya akamaha tasya. The one who is not seized by kama. That person is called akamahataha. And finally, it is not that a person has no desire. Person has desire. Sweltering heat means I want to be inside the shade, inside the home. What happened? Why is it like this? Some desire will be there. But not a victim of the desire. That's what they are saying. Beautiful. So the person who is not a victim of desire, that talks about there. So like this Nididhyasanam, we have to work on ourselves. So therefore, now look, nirguṇah, niṣkriyaha, nityaha. Let's look at these words now. Nirguṇah. Everything I know is sagunam. Everything I know is sagunam. But then the student says, hey, I got what you said. Atma is nirgunam. Brahma is nirgunam. And the nirgunam, then what about all the gunas? Hey, the gunas are all superimposed. Kalpitam. Guna is kalpitam on the nirgunam. That is why I see all these devatas sitting on lotus flower, and Saraswati is on the lotus flower. Why? Because she is unaffected by whatever is there. She can do so much wonders, but she's unaffected by what is produced by that knowledge, or by that Aishwaryam, Lakshmi, or by that Durga Devi's power, resources. Unaffected. They're unaffected. So, untouched. So, Atma is nirguṇah. And so buddhya bhavat gunarahitaha yadva shabdadehe shatvade. Okay, so gunaha. Tikakaras give meaning to this gunaha, So there is earlier the amanaha and all we saw. Aprano, previous shloka, aprano, hyamana, shubhraha. Amanaha. Atma is amanaha. Atma doesn't have mind. Therefore, if there is no mind, there is no possibility of any guna possible. Because mind is what expresses guna, So like that they say. Because being amanaha, Atma must be nirgunaha. Or they give another meaning to guna. What is the other meaning? Shabda, sparsha, rupa, rasa, gandha are the gunas of any object. Any object will have one or more of these gunas. Attributes, sound, sparsha, touch, etc. All these things are there. This is ashabdam, asparsham, arupam. So agandha, agandham, Atma is like that. That is also called nirgunam. Or Tikakara says this sattvadehe cha vilakshanatvat. Sattvadehe. Sattva, rajas, tama, famous. This is how the guna model for us is there. Sattva guna, rajo guna, and tamo guna. If you look at it that way also, sattva guna rahitaha, rajo guna rahitaha, and tamo guna rahitaha. That is the meaning of nirgunam. Like that they are explaining to us. And then niṣkriyaha. Niṣkriyaha. All right, here also you have to look at the shloka number 32, 2 shlokas before. Look at that. Nirindriyataya nacha shabdadi vishayai sankaha nirindriyataya nacha. Indriyataya, because no indriyas. Atma is nirindriyam, no indriyas. And therefore, that includes apranaha also, no prana. So no jnanendriya, no karmendriya, and no manaha, etc. And therefore, Atma has to be niṣkriyaha. Niṣkriya means what? Actionless. Kriya. Nirgata kriya yasmat. Tat saha niṣkriyaha. So that is why how do I appreciate this? I have to appreciate this first before coming to Vedanta itself. I have to think about retirement. What is the purpose of retirement? How did retirement come into being? I thought I was working, I was a professional. No, okay, what is the goal of working? The goal of working is to not work. It's all weird. Nobody talks like this. And so, finally ended up retiring. Nobody questions, why are you retired? You ought to be working. You're not spending your time usefully. You are a waste. You're a drain on society. You're not contributing to the economy. Correct? Yeah, that is the modern language. How come we don't go to retired people and say all this? That is because we know we keep work. Fortunately, we keep work aside. This whole professional life, okay, kaam karna chahiye, what to do? I have to bring bread on the table, and so I have to work, and then just leave that whole muck aside. After 6 o'clock, let's just do our own stuff. This is how, fortunately, we do this. And so, I better, at least when I'm retired, Swamiji says, I must have that leisure. Leisure must be there inside. That I'm free. I'm free, really speaking. Now I need the Shastra. Like that, if I get the idea, then right there in retirement itself, I am niṣkriya. Not because I am not working, but I understand that work is empirical. Just like this body itself is empirical, work also is empirical. And what about family? Family also is empirical only. I'm born in a family, and all relationships are not paramarthikam, not absolute. Everything is relative. I can think like that when I'm retired, because I don't have to worry about so many other things. I don't have to get up in the morning and fight the traffic when I'm retired. And so I have time to think like this. Hey, this father, mother, brother, sister, son, daughter, so many relationships are there. Who am I? Am I fundamentally related to others or not? This question I can ask. Fundamentally, I am not. I'm neither. Because I'm neither father nor brother nor son, I can be father and brother and son at the same time. Otherwise, there's a contradiction. How can the same person be father, son, and brother? Not possible. Oh, that means these are all hats I'm wearing. I'm wearing the moment I wake up in the morning after a deep sleep, I wear all these hats. Kata, 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 kata. And the night when I go, I'm imagining a cartoon, not cartoon, that animation. And I go to the sleep, all the hats are all going off, kata, 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 going off and sitting in not away, right next to me, there's a box, it's all going there. And then the moment I wake up, all the things coming. So I have the leisure to think like that this is what's happening. Then who am I? Who's the guy who slept? Who am I? Who am I? Well, I have to be Atra Pita Bhavati. Brihadaranyaka Upanishad. The Pita has become Apita. Has not become. Pita is Apita, really speaking. Mata Amata Bhavati. Brihadaranyaka Upanishad says that. Mata Amata Bhavati. All along you are thinking you are Mata. No, you are Amata. Devaha Adevaha Bhavanti. Upanishad doesn't leave. It keeps stretching this all the way. Devaha Adevaha Bhavanti. Then what about Vedaha? Vedaha Avedaha Bhavanti. Stretch all the way. That's how it is. So, niṣkriyaha. All right, nityaha. Nityaha. This also we've seen many times, I think. So, number 9 we saw. Sachidat Sachidatmanyanyusyute nitye Vishnu prakalpita. Like that we saw. And so, that word nitya also we've seen. Then 24 also we saw nitya nirmalatam atmanaha. 24. So, we've talked enough about that. Dehi nityamavadhyoyam dehe sarvasya bharata nityamavadhyoyam. So अच्छेद्योयमदाह्योयम अक्लेद्यो शोष्य एवच nitya sarvagatasthānuhu achaloyam sanatanaha. There also we saw nityaha. All right. In that shloka, 230, Bhagavad Gita 2.30, Dehi nityamavadhyoyam, Dehe sarvasya bharata. Hey Bharata, Dehe, asmin Dehe, in this body, asmin Sharire, Dehi nityam avadhyaha. I am Dehi nityam avadhyaha. There is a Dehi, there is somebody different than the body who is sitting in this body. Dehi, it's called Dehi. Tasmat sarvani bhutani natvam shochitum arhati, he says. Tasmat, therefore, what should you do? Sarvani bhutani. Therefore, all these people, Bhishmadaya, all these people who are standing right in front of you, Bhishmadaya, Uddishya, with reference to these people, you should not be sorrowful, like that he's saying. Where is the connection between, there is a Dehi inside, Avadhyaha Dehi, and therefore you should not worry about them. Means what? It's your duty to fight. And so even though there's going to be a massacre that's going to happen shortly, you don't have to take it upon yourself. Because Dehi Avadhyaha. Their Dehi is also Avadhyaha. My Dehi is also Avadhyaha. But so what? So I just go around killing people? No, that's why important. Dharma is there. Dharma is there, backing everything. All of our actions is backed by Dharma. Actions are not backed by moksha. Okay. Atma doesn't back actions because Atma is niṣkriyo. Dharma only should back actions, correct? Dharma and adharma. And so, there he says, therefore, you don't have to have any qualms about fighting this war. This is a dharma yuddham, he says. Because the guilt is coming. Because Arjuna has that guilt. Oh my God, I'm going to kill all my cousins. I'm going to kill my guru like that. This is just not possible. One cannot handle that feeling. And only Krishna has to come and neutralize that feeling. There's a meaning here. So that Veda, Guru Vak is there. And so I found that to be interesting. Nirvikalpaha. Another word is there. Nirvikalpaha. Vikalpaha. Vikalpaha. So what is the definition of manas? Sankalpa vikalpatmakam manaha. Vikalpa means thoughts. Constantly changing. That is called vikalpa. Sometimes division, they say. Division. Any division is a vikalpa. So if you think about mind, okay, sankalpa vikalpatmakam manaha. That means what? That entity which wills, I want to do something, and which also changes those decisions constantly and provides many options, vikalpa. No, what if? Why that? Why should we do it now? Postpone it. This, that. So like this constantly changing, that is called vikalpa. But I just told you, Shankara said just a sloka ago, amanaha. Atma is amanaha. Therefore, where is the question of vikalpa for Atma? Therefore, nirvikalpaha. Atma nirvikalpaha. I don't see any boys named Nirvikalp. I'm just thinking aloud here. Nirvikalp. Why we don't name our children Nirvikalp? I don't know. It's maybe not fashionable to name nirvikalpo and all. Some Google may advise against saying nirvikalpo, I think. So I'm just curious why. Anyway, niṣkriyo. All these are good names, no? Niṣkriyo. Anyway,
Niranjan is there.
Niranjan is there. Okay. Next, nirvikalpaha. All right. So vikalpa means division. So all divisions can be crystallized, can be summarized by what? I am the knower, that is the known, and what happens between the knower and known is knowledge. So I am the jnata, that is jneyam. Then what I get in the process is jnanam. So that's the Triputi. Famous Triputi is there. That is the famous vikalpa. Okay. Or pramata, prameyaha, pramanam. Okay. Or karta, karma, kriya. Correct? Karta, doer. Karma, the object of action. I am studying a book. Book becomes karma. I becomes karta. Then that process of studying happens between the two of us. Karta and karma. So karta, karma and kriya. All right. What about enjoyment? Bhokta is there, no? Bhokta, bhojyam. Bhokta is the enjoyer. Bhojyam is the object of enjoyment. Whatever I am enjoying is called bhojyam. Or bhogyam also you can say. Bhojyam. And then what is it that connects the bhokta with the bhogyam? The enjoyer with the object of enjoyment? Bhojanam. Bhojanam. Bhoga you can say bhojanam because bhokta, bhuj dhatu. Bhojanam is called that enjoyment. Generally, bhojan ka, whenever everybody utters the word bhojan, suddenly the salivary glands start working. Bhojanam, bhojanam, yes. Not that is called food. And that is actually bhojyam in this example. Bhojanam means that experience. That experience. It's called bhojanam. All right. So that is called, that triputi vikalpaha is not there for Atma. Atma cannot be divided in that manner. Then what gets divided? Hey, the mind is like that. Everything is like that. They're all called upadhis, and which are superimposed on Atma. Good. And then niranjanaha. Niranjanaha. Again, this anjana, malam, often understood as malam. And so niranjanaha is equal to nirmalaḥ. And Tikakara, this is where Sanskrit just shows itself, shows its beautiful face. And Tikakara says, see, niravayavatvat asangaha. Asangaha. Nirmalaḥ is equal to asangaha, it says. Okay. Yadva swaprakashakatvat nitaram rajayati. Nitaram rajayati iti niranjanaha. Rajayati. Always rajayati. Always is like the king of the jungle, they say, no? For lion. And always, it doesn't matter whether the lion is sleeping or getting up or walking or running, doesn't matter. Still king of the jungle all the time. So like that, rajayati, nitaram rajayati. And nitaram shobhate and anyanapi shobhayati, I think that must be the word. Nich. And so, illuminates everything. Here in the sense of illumination. Sarva prakashakatva. We saw this word somewhere. Maybe not this word. Yeah, Nirmalatam we saw. Amale Sachidatmani we saw in shloka number 21. Amala we saw, but this is Niranjanaha. So Nitaram Rajayati. Swaprakashakatva. Because always shining. Only source, only consciousness, always making things aware to me. That awareness is this Niranjanaha.
We saw
So
in
Niranjana.
Mundaka also recently. Hiranmaye, Brahmapure. We saw in Mundaka also.
Brahmapure. Correct. We saw it. Niranjanaha we saw there, no? Yeah.
We saw that self-illumination. Yes, we saw.
Yeah, we saw that just recently. So this Kritikakara does that for this word Niranjanaha. Generally, Niranjana means Nirmala only. But here he is just giving a different meaning to the word Niranjana. What is the different meaning? Nitya, always shining, always illuminating. Its only job is to illuminate. Means what? Make things come to your awareness. That is the meaning of illumination here. That is the meaning he is giving. Beautiful. I like that. Then finally, nirmalahasmi. Okay, nirmalaḥ, niṣkalankaha, malarahitaha. So all that we saw. And what can be the malam for Atma? What can be the malam? Hey, all the other malams are all there, out there. But here in this body, what can be the malam? Hey, mind is the closest. And mind ka malam kya hai? Ragadveshadi. Ragadvesha, Lobha, Moha, Mada, Matsarya. I'm always worried about these things. I'm always impacted by these things. My likes, my dislikes, Lobha, my desire for more and more. Moha, my confusion. I'm affected by what I'm confused about. Mada, because of all this ajnanam, Mada is also there. Aggression is there. Matsarya, jealousy. If somebody else is more successful than me, I become jealous of that person. Over. Why not me? Why him? That's it. This will finish the person. And so, Shankara says, Atma is nirmalaḥ. Don't worry. Solve all your issues. And these are all emotional issues. All this greed, anger and everything. Emotionally, there is some background is there. Fix all those problems. And automatically, I will see that Atma nirmalaḥ. I cannot but see myself as nirmalaḥ. That is the way to look at this. So they say raga dveshadi malarahitaha. Atma is free from all this raga dvesha, etc. All these kinds of addressed impurities, so to speak. All right. Nirvikaraha. Nirvikaraha. Vikara shunyaha. Vikaraha, change. Okay. And any kinds of modification. Any change for that matter. Change is constant. Look around, change is constant. And thankfully change is constant, because I just put a little paudha lagaya wahan par, and so I wanted this seed to grow, and now it's growing. So I'm happy for that change. But when I look at myself, I'm also aging. Every year is passing. Birthday, people say birthday, and I enjoy. But after they all leave, again I say, oh my God, now I'm 61, 62, 65, 70, 75. This is good. The number is never reducing. Why number doesn't reduce? This is God is just what do you call it? He just loves to watch us suffer, I think. This kind of problem Atma doesn't have. Nirvikāro. So jayate vardhate viparinamate apakshiyate and vinashyati. This is called shad vikaraha. That ashad vikaravan, avikaravan, atma nirvikaraha. That is what is said here. And then nirākāro also. Shankaracharya is just loading it up. Nirvikāro, nirākāro. nirakārah. Ākārah रूपः. आकार बोलते हैं हिंदी में, आकार, रूपः. So form, formless. Sarvagatatvat. Sarvagatopyatma, somewhere we saw. Sarvagataha. Where did we see it? We saw it somewhere.
Bhagavad Gita, nityam sarvagatasthānuhu achalu.
There we saw, and here we saw. Where did we see? Okay, look, I got it. 17. Look at 17. Sada sarvagatopyatma na sarvatra vabhasate. Sada sarvagataha api atma. Hey, Atma is everywhere. I start with the idea that Atma is inside me, but then I'll end up with the idea, with the knowledge that Atma is everywhere. Sarvagataha. So sarvagatatvat, that which is sarvagata cannot have akara, cannot have rupa, cannot have a form. So therefore, nirākārah. And finally, nityamuktaha. This is the greatest contribution of Advaita Vedanta. Nityamuktatvam. I cannot produce muktatvam. Moksha cannot be produced. Not possible at all. Because what is produced is subject to change. That is the law. That is the same Ishvara's law only it is. And moksha cannot be specially free from all these things. Everything is subject to the same laws. And if I say moksha is karma phalam, then karma palakshaya will be there. How long can I experience the results of karma phalam? That is why the subtler things are the ones that keep us happy all the time. All the day-to-day things and all will not work, because every day I have to have food. Every day the hunger is there, hunger is appeased. Then what? After some time I'm opening the refrigerator. Why? Because that's all. That's all karma phalam can accomplish. Earning money, yeah, that also is karma phalam only. No end to it. That is why the person feels very inadequate. Not enough. It will never be enough. That not enough idea will not go at all, because that is the nature of karma phalam. Not enough. And so that's why more subtler thing, the education. What kind of education? I did this schooling. That education helps me. It stays with me forever. That education helps me for life. So much it helps me that I cannot but inspire my children also to get that same kind of education. No, you can't skip school. It's not acceptable. In this family, it is not acceptable. And so, like somewhere in the Upanishad also they say, Anuchanamani. In our family, there is nobody who has not studied the Veda. Like that father tells the son. Because son wants to go play cricket all the time. And father says, no, we have to allot some time for Veda. So here, nityamuktaha, nityam, not only muktaha, nityamuktaha, always Atma was muktaha, free. And with all these these descriptors, it was always like that. It never became sasangaha. It never became malaha, samalaha. We just make opposites of these things. Nirguṇaha, sagunaha. It was never sagunaha. Niṣkriyaha. It was never sakriyaha. Nityaha. It was never anityaha. Nirvikalpaha. It was never savikalpaha. Niraṃjanaḥ. It was never saranjanaha. Or sanjanaha, maybe I should say. It's not saranjana. Sanjanaha. This is a good way to check if by chance any of us have named our children like this. And because it becomes the opposite, Nirvikaraha, savikaraha. Atma was never savikaraha. Nirākāraha. Atma was never sakaraha. Okay. Nityamuktaha. Always free. That is why I will get moksha when I meditate is a wrong idea. Because meditation is an action and it cannot produce anything. It definitely can't produce moksha. It can produce a lot of relaxation. That it can produce. Correct? Because relaxation is meditation is an action. It can produce relaxation, and relaxation is karma palam. And after some time, that's kshaya will happen. Then I have to meditate again so that I can be relaxed again, and then this will continue. But this nididhyasana is where I am now. That viparita bhavana is there. This what I have studied is not sticking to me. Okay, then for that I have to neutralize the mental conditioning that I have. And so that is a process Bhagavan Shankaracharya is taking us through. So nityamuktaha asmi, and then nirmalaḥ. Nirmalaḥ also is there, that we just saw earlier. Nirmalaḥ. Asmi. Asmi means am. I am. Aham asmi. Like that. You can say shishya vacha. Like that we can even say. The student is now saying asmi, aham asmi. He doesn't say you are. Guruhu, tvam asi, tvam nityamuktaha asi. He doesn't say. He says aham asmi. Tvam asi is understood. But aham asmi. Now the teaching of the Veda has become mine. It has now become mine. That's what he's saying. Good. So with that, let's look at the translation of this sloka. Okay. I am attribute free, actionless. I am attribute free, actionless, eternal, thought free, then niraṃjanaḥ, stainless is said here, stainless or blemishless, whichever one. Okay, just leave it as stainless. Okay, thought free, stainless. And we saw the other meaning for niraṃjanaḥ, which is what? Illuminator of all. Right? Illuminator of all. That is within brackets you can say. Meaning number 2. Illuminator of all. For niraṃjanaḥ. So thought-free, stainless or blemishless, illuminator of all, same word within brackets. Then unchanging, comma, formless, comma, eternally free, nityamuktaha, eternally free, and pure, eternally free and pure. The way to understand eternal is what? Because our understanding is always a function of time. When? Okay, when did this happen? When did that happen? So when is important for us. The time is so important in our thinking, in our thought process. To understand eternal nityam, you have to remove time out. That's why trikalepi or kalatrayepi shunyah. Kalatrayepi, whenever it says, so whenever they say nirmalaḥ, kalatrayepi malarahitam. In all three periods of time, past, present, and future. And once you say past means you don't have to worry when did the past start. You don't have to say, because everything is past only. Future, everything is future only. Tomorrow is future, 10 years later future, 100 years later future, 10,000 years later also future only. So kalatrayepi, if you say, the time axis is removed, and that gives us nityamuktaha. All right, where are we? So let me read this. I am attribute free, actionless, eternal, thought free, stainless, illuminator of all within brackets, unchanging, formless, eternally free and pure. Got it? Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.
ధన్యవాదాలు.